I'm Sarah and I've been a milliner, accessory designer and maker and educator for over 30 years. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about 5 must-have blocks. They're certainly not the only blocks you might need in your workroom, but I think with these 5, you could end up making almost anything. I have a bit of a less is more approach to both fashion, millinery, and blocks. I think we can become a little bit overwhelmed with blocks, and because they're such beautiful things, it's hard not to want to collect them. You can see from my block collection that I've just got maybe 20 blocks, and I find that's enough to do just about everything I could ever want with millinery. Okay, the first block I would start with is either a skull or a dome. These are the kind of building blocks of your studio. The difference between these two is obviously the height of these ones, but in their shape. This one has a beautiful skull shape at the back, allowing you to create hats and headpieces that have a lot of depth to them, but also really snugly fit the head. So perfect for things like a 1920s style cloche or a beautiful theatrical headpiece. The dome, on the other hand, an equally practical block, but it doesn't have that skull shape at the back. What it's got is a little bit higher at the back, a little bit lower at the front, just to mimic the shape of the head. These guys are practical for a lot of reasons. Like I said, they're part of the building blocks of your studio. I love this one and this one because not only can you create these shapes with them, but they're also really beautiful for lifting your crown and hand shaping. So beautiful for making men's hats, fedora style things, asymmetrical draped crowns. These guys, you can do a lot on them. And then of course, they're perfect for trimming. Once your hat's ready to go, you've got to get your last bits done. These are really great for sitting on them. You can work on them really easily and you're not kind of handling your hat too much. So for these, if I had to choose just one of these to start with, I think I'd choose the skull, just because they're generally a little bit deeper as a block. And you've got this beautiful shape here, which if you don't want it, can easily be stretched out or pulled out once you've finished the blocking process. The next block I'm going to choose is this boater style crown. I love this for a lot of reasons, and that's because it's always great to have some block with a really nice hard edge on it. This is hard to get with hand blocking. I tend to choose an oval shape for this one. I think it's a little bit more flexible than a pure round one, which is gorgeous, but our heads are oval, so this gives us a little bit more scope on this one. And I can, of course, pad this out to make it rounder if I wanted to. The other reason I really love this block and would have it as one of the basics in my studio is that it's flexible and I can do lots with it. I think every block I'm bringing in needs to do more than one job. It's the side bit. This much depth gives me so much to play with here. I can make really beautiful deep crowns with it, and I can also use this completely separately for making beautiful padded out trims, for creating headbands and headpieces and something to sit on. So this one, super practical, super plain, but super important. The next block I'm going to choose is maybe a little bit controversial. It's not this beautiful brim block, it's this. It's the collar block. These guys are workhorses. And you can find them really cheaply and easily in vintage shops, up shops, because people don't actually know what they are. So they're often just hanging around waiting. I've found them in the hardware section of the op shop. So keep your eye out for these. The way I use these is obviously they top your brim blocks. So really important for that, and they give you the size as you block down. But you can use them completely independently of that. They do great things, like can help you build up a block if you want even more depth in something. They can help you block if you don't have exactly the brim block that you want. Pop one of these into the piece you're working on and you've got a stabilized collar, and you can start blocking by hand or even blocking on your table. They're also really great if you just need to resize a hat a little bit and you don't have a stretcher. These are really good. You can just wet that brim down, wet that collar down, pop these in and stretch it out really slightly, really easily without manhandling your hat too much. So if I was buying some of these, I would just get a couple of basic sizes. So 22 is kind of your average head size. I work in inches. Get some 21s, get some 23s, and you've got a whole lot you can do with something as simple and as inexpensive as a collar block. So the next block I'm going to choose actually is this gorgeous brim block. The thing I love about this brim block is that it's double-sided. So on this side, I've got this gorgeous, slight, elegant curve down. And on the bottom side, where I can just flip it over, I have got this fantastic flat block. It's doing everything for me. On both sides, I can do so much from this simple shape. I'm not stuck with just this. Getting my crown on there, getting my brim blocked out, I can then start to hand block it up, giving me a beautiful curve. I can start to bring that back of it up so I've got a more fedora-ish feel about it. I can start really flat. This one is great for if you're wanting to pleat your blocks, make something beautiful happen, give it a curve. This is the block you need. And once you've got those hand blocking skills under control, there's so much you can do with this really simple double-sided block. The last, but definitely not least block I'm going to choose for my 5 essential blocks is this kind of beret block. And these come in so many different shapes and sizes. The reason I've chosen this one is because, like every other block I've chosen in this lot, it's a bit of a workhorse. It does a million things for me. One, it makes the shape it's actually made to make. So it makes this gorgeous flat little pancake style topper, which is great for cocktail pieces, for fascinators. I've made it so it slopes down on one side and then pulled it up on the other, post blocking. It also is a really incredible, gorgeous curved top that is great for making trims over, for pressing the edge of a brim over if I wanted it to all to curve down a little bit. And I've definitely used this very tight rolled edge to curve ribbon and straw and felt around so that I can get gorgeous tight curls in things. So this, it was in bad shape when I got it and it's in worse shape now because I've used it a lot. What you want to do when you're getting one of these is make sure that you are getting a 5-piece block. So the trouble with a top block that's so much wider at the top than it is at the bottom is getting anything off it, your felt, your straw, your buckram, whatever you're blocking on this one. So make sure that you're buying it as a puzzle block or what I would call a 5-piece block. And that means that it all comes apart and I can easily get whatever I'm blocking off here. There are lots of beautiful beret blocks that you can find secondhand that aren't in this 5-piece block. And I find that the ones that I've bought, I've never ended up using because getting anything off them is an absolute nightmare. So to build out my block collection, I would start with something like this. Something that has a bit of dual purpose, can make a gorgeous little cocktail hat, and is a shape that you haven't got in other blocks that you've got. So a pointed version would also be another great one to add a new shape to your collection. So that is the 5 blocks that I think you should start with. Tell me what else you think you need in your block collection.